All right, gang, it's Hexy. All right, so we are going through this sort of demo copy of Lock and Load Publishing's first Victories, Wellington versus Napoleon. And this game is focused around, was it Rolicha and Vimero? But what I decided to do was set up the play example, not like a scenario, but the play example where they walk you through, I don't know, about a page and a half of using the solo assist and stuff like that. Now, I'm not using the solo assist. I was going to, but I said, no, let's go ahead and play both since it's just a small engagement I'm doing here. And I decided to execute this with the French attacking uh, the Brits here on the edge of the town of Vimiero. All right. So the French won the initiative and decided to go ahead and let them go first since they're going to be attacking anyhow, which might not have been the best idea because you have these things like in other games, like I know when I played Great Battles of American Civil War, you have these reaction abilities. So you have reaction fire, reaction formation change, and I think reaction facing changes the other one. I got my little book here next to me, so I'll take a quick look. Here we go. Yeah, reaction fire, reaction formation change, oh, reaction charge. Okay. Um, so every time a phasing player's unit does something that triggers reaction, which is like movement or changing formation or something like that, the non phasing player can perform a reaction to it. And he can, so if one unit moves into, like, let's say the skirmish range of a non phasing player, he can reaction fire at him. And then let's say he moves again or he changes formation, then the non-phase unit can reaction fire again because it's a different trigger. Okay? So just to give you an idea of what happened, I want you to look at these units. S for shaken, 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 S for shaken. Um, all of those were from fire combat. They never got the chance to close and do anything. This unit did, and this unit did, and he got chased away by a successful defensive fire from these guns right here. He got chased away. Now, interesting enough, nobody suffered any step losses yet, okay? But when you receive a negative or you fail a morale check from any kind of offensive or defensive fire, you take 2 state losses. So these guys were in normal state. So they went from normal state through disordered or disrupted, whatever it's called, into shaken. All right. And I got a feeling that's a lot of the basis of this game. So this assault never really happened because the guns chased them away. This assault did happen, but there was no result. These guys here stood up to him, and nobody chased either one out. So they stay where they are. They they go to a disrupted or disordered state, and they stay right there. And then and you remove your assault markers, and then you wait for the next turn. I guess you decide whether you're going to do it again or not. I had 2 cavalry charges over here against 2 British units that successfully got into square formation. Okay. And as you can see, both of them are still holding their ground. They had the better odds and the better die roll modifiers because they were in square and they're actually bigger number than these guys, the cavalry was. And the cavalry got chased off. And when cavalry gets chased off like that, they end up getting 2 spent markers put on them. Now, I don't know how many, I know there's recovery, and I'll be getting to that here shortly. But both French formations were in attack mode, and the Brits over here in reserve mode. And during the French player's turn or phases, the non-phasing player gets a reserve movement phase. So I move this guy over here into Vimero. He moved up in, was going to get on this unit here, which was sitting here getting ready to assault. He moved in there next to him. He reaction fired at him and sent him back. So he was never able to do any help. So now when the British turn comes up, since this guy's already has already reacted move, he can't do anything else. He's done. He can't move, put it that way, with the British turn coming up for movement. So they are, I don't think it's going to matter because they've already been pushed back. And those guns are probably going to fire a canister right into them again. It's amazing because it's not you have 3 levels of gameplay. Think of it as like a basic, an intermediate, and advanced. So I'm playing the basic. It's called the soldier's game. So the artillery here, he doesn't get to use that canister number, strength points of 3 right there. In the soldier's game, they use only the white box for all the different types of firing they do. So, but when he's firing at canister range, he's going to get 3 column shifts. And then you're rolling percentile dice, like in the 10s. And just to give you an example, there's a couple of the dice right here. So, you got you're rolling in the 10s, so like you might 55 or 66 or something like that. And then you have your chart like such, and you'll get your result off of your what your fire strength will be up top here, and then whatever you roll, it goes whatever your fire strength is up to that number gets that result, which is a morale check with -10, morale check minus blah 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 blah. And it looks to me like most of the devastation that happens in this game is by these morale states that you get as to whether you retreat or not. So this is my initial sort of opinion of the game. Interesting. I like the graphics on the map. I love the counters. A lot of details, and I'm only playing the soldier's game, so I'm not having to worry about a lot of the details yet. The game is not overbearing for a full battle with combat counters. You got a lot of miscellaneous and informational counters that you use to this, but it looks like a majority of them are going to be these morale state markers, skirmish markers. I don't even ask me to pronounce what there's 2 forms of skirmishers in this game here. So artillery so far in this game is not real devastating, although he did do his job and chased him off. He wasn't able to hit nothing. So we've executed the first half of the first turn of the French, and now we're going to flip it over to the Brits. So it took me a little while to play this because, like I said, I've read all the rules, highlighted everything I needed to read in the soldier's game. And so it's going to be a little slow for me. And I figure as I start to pick up or become more fluid with the soldier game, then I'll be able to move on to the battalion and brigade, or brigade and battalion games. So like to your intermediate, then to your advanced. But liking this so far, initial opinion of liking it so far because of the system. It's different, much different than a lot of stuff I'm used to playing. So it looks like, and if I understand the guy that has designed this is his thing anyhow, is the Napoleonic or gunpowder. So yeah, we're going to keep going on with this. And so far, like I said, my initial impression is this is kind of fun. I'm sure I'll get quicker on it as I go. And then eventually, like I say, I'll get into a scenario. I'll actually set up a scenario and play an actual scenario. And I want to use the solo cards as to be my opponent so I can see how nice the solo assistant works in this game. All right, but this is First Victories, Wellington versus Napoleon. This is a future release for Lock and Load Publishing from the Glory and Empire system. And I'm fortunate enough to have one of the 2 copies to sort of demo. So here's my first video, and I'll hope to shoot some more here over the next maybe 2 weeks or so. All right, talk to y'all soon. See you.